This is Valerie Van Boeven with the Senior Care Industry Netcast, where leaders with 3 or more years in the senior care industry share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes, so let's get to it. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Katie. I'm a bit newer to the industry, at least in the capacity I'm in right now, but I am the Community Ambassador for At Your Service Nursing and Home Care in Santa Rosa. Primarily, that means that I help members of our community find the right home care solution for them, whatever that looks like. Also just resources in general. So if you need DME or advice on how to make changes to your home to make it safer or more adaptable, even if we are not the solution, I pride myself in pointing people in the right direction.
Very nice. We all need a great resource, and it's so helpful for families to not have to call 15 people. So that's awesome.
As it typically goes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about this. What is the best thing you found so far about serving aging adults?
A good question. 2 things primarily. First of all, the connections you make. Obviously, the elders I've gotten to interact with in my time in this industry primarily have just been hilarious and fun to be around. It's a nice change of pace. I come from big box retail, so it's definitely neat to have more time to establish personal connections with people and make a difference for them. They've all made an impact on me personally and professionally for the positive, so I'm thankful for that. And then just to give back to the community I grew up in. So I was born in Southern California, but moved here almost immediately, and I've been here all my life, all over the county, Santa Rosa, Petaluma, Cotati. So it's really nice to make a tangible impact on the community in which I grew up.
Very nice. Yeah. Going back to your roots and definitely, and plus, being in a place where you grew up, you know all the ins and outs and the cultural issues and all the cool things there are about living where you live. So it's easy for you to find resources.
A little bit easier, especially because, you walk into some stores or places that are resources for people and you encounter people who are, parents of people you went to school with or friends from youth sports, all sorts of connections that are really helpful.
That's cool. Okay, let's talk a little bit about internet marketing. I hear from other senior service providers that marketing online can be challenging. I know it's ever changing. What has been your experience or your thoughts? And you are typically, when we do an interview, the owner, whoever it is a little older, and you come from a perfect background because you probably grew up with all of this.
Yeah, it's been helpful. What I will say is it's a moving target. So it's been a bit mixed, but it's fun to have that nice change of pace. It allows me to connect with my community in ways I haven't been able to focus on in the past. So you find that a lot of people are more interactive with you and don't take it as much of like a sales pop-in if you're checking in on like Facebook or Instagram. There's a lot of avenues that I didn't even think would be applicable to the industry, but I was surprised at how many people are on Instagram and Snapchat, and YouTube is something we're trying now. And especially because my position is so resource-based, it's nice to be able to share the information because maybe, someone's parents aren't on Facebook, but they are, and they can get information and share information on where to find resources or support groups or just things to help the community as a whole. I've gotten to connect with so many resources in the community too that I was even a shopper at, but I didn't realize the interconnectivity. So locally owned markets that have senior shopping hours, public utilities such as fire departments and police departments who would assist somebody if they were down and called for help. Kind of seeing the interconnectivity of it all that you wouldn't normally see if you're just visiting facilities and hospitals.
Very true. And in this moment in all of our lives and in this moment in time, I think having a familiarity with your online resources is imperative because we can't really go network as much. And I know you're in California, so I think things got a little bit weirder again recently. Like
yesterday,
are shut down a little bit. So we're going to go through these ebbs and flows, and having a really good base of people online to connect with and to check up on, and a good community on Facebook. I think that really helps. So you're right. Knowing,
good to understand the plane as a whole. It's nice
yeah.
to be able to, as opposed to call and try to reach someone, or you can't visit in general, but to reach out to the marketer on Facebook and see how things are looking at this hospital or this facility. What do things look like in North County versus South County?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's been harder on all of us and a little bit easier on all of us who kind of understand how this works. So thank you for shedding some light on that. I agree with all of your assessments there. And let's see, next thing we're going to talk about our successful leaders. So in your career, in your life, it could be, and I asked this question, and I really want to kind of clarify it for you, because what I really mean when I ask this is, who in your life has been an inspiration to you, a mentor to you? And it might be in this job or in this career, or it might be in, just generally speaking, you're a very driven, successful young lady. So who's been a helper in your life that you'd like to talk about?
Well, an obvious one, but one that I'll say anyway. I love the two ladies that I work for. So Dr. Lucy, the owner of the company and a longtime nurse, is a fantastic resource and just a funny, great person to connect with and be around. Really kind of helps me understand big picture when it comes to this industry. And then the administrator of our office, Shauna Burton, who's a dear friend and practically family to me. Very similar. Easy to work with, and really kind of helps me understand the care aspect, because I come from a very customer service minded aspect of things. So it's nice to have two people that are highly experienced and understanding of the services that we provide on a medical level. In regards to people who I've seen or met in the industry that have been particularly awesome, I've observed with facilities like Arbol Senior Living in Santa Rosa, and Verena, both have handled this really well, and they have a ton of safely laid out activities and really good stimulus right now for their residents, which is awesome because of just how much that's lacking, and they're able to do so safely too. Our clients tend to really love where they live. So, and then Redwood Empire Medical Supply in Rohnert Park. I hear about them from random people in the community because I live in Rohnert Park at Cotati. But the couple that owns that location is just fantastic as far as resources go. And, all the hospitals in our area I found have managed this really well from start to finish. Prior to, the visitations to facilities kind of being cut to a minimum, I saw a lot of proactive measures being taken place in advance. All in all, our community works really well together, but I am very blessed to work where I do and who I work for.
Thank you for that. And I don't know your office, or the office manager or the person, but I do know Dr. Lucy. And she's a mutual friend of a mutual friend as well. And we've been together at conferences, and she
knows a lot of people that way.
She does. She does. That's right.
You encounter somebody in every room who knows Lucy well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. But she is a dear, and she is so smart and just a really good mentor for anyone. So I agree with you. She's pretty amazing. And I'm sure the staff, all the rest of the staff there is too, because you guys have been around for a long time, which speaks volumes to how good the care is coming from your offices.
I really pride ourselves on being genuine, both with clients in the community as well as people who've worked with us. We have care staff who've been with us over a decade. So, that's definitely, it's very reflective in any industry you work in, whether it's big box retail or home care. Your relationships with your people make a huge difference.
Yes, they do. And to say someone's been with you for more than 10 years is amazing from a caregiver perspective.
Surprisingly, over a handful.
That's amazing and wonderful. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. They must love where they work, or they would not have stayed. So that's great. Okay. What piece of advice would you give other senior care providers?
It ties in really well, actually. Purely to take care of your people, clients and care staff alike. I mean, it instills trust in both parties, which is really important, but I mean, it really is reflective of how your business is doing as a whole, your reflection amongst staff, as well as with clients. There's a reason that I feel that Dr. Lucy and this company has a very big matter of trust within the community. And I think it's just word of mouth and making sure people are always taken care of. We've been really good about making sure they have adequate supplies with everything going on, that they have resources to reach out to with questions or concerns, that if they need time off to recuperate or make sure that they or their families are okay, that they feel comfortable enough to do so and supported. With clients, it's constant communication. As you can tell, I'm chatty. So over communication is awesome when it comes to the care of someone's loved one. Really just being genuine, involved, and caring.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great piece of advice. I don't think a senior would be opposed to you being really chatty, because they just don't get to chat enough.
I use myself as a litmus when I meet families. I'm like, on a scale of 0 to me, how chatty do you want your care provider? You know,
that's good.
But it makes people comfortable. Finding common ground, especially when it comes to making someone comfortable with receiving care in their home, is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Okay. Last question. It's supposed to be the easy one. Everybody's sort of like, what? But when you have a win in life or in business or anywhere, it could be a graduation, a wedding, or just a client that's feeling happy, as their family's happy. How do you like to celebrate?
Actually really like that question. So it's interesting timing for it, though, because right now, what people do to celebrate looks a lot different than what it looked like, in January or February. That said, we're a small, genuine team that really wants to make a difference in the lives we help. So any positive impact we observe, any positive feedback, is just awesome celebration for us, knowing that we made a tangible difference. That said, we'll celebrate a bit more when it's safe to do so. Personally, I celebrate by just relaxing and spending time with family. I have a 4-year-old. It's a very fun time right now. It's a 4-year-old girl named Daphne. And so getting to spend time with her and just kind of watch her thrive right now is really nice. Right now, more than ever, it's definitely the little things. So being home with family.
Yep, absolutely. And 4 years old is a really fun age. They can actually participate a little more, and 5 is fun. And I mean, it gets better and more fun when they can actually do something with you and actually participate. Every age has a different fun level, but I agree.
Find myself saying it's my favorite age so far all the time. Yeah. But truly getting to interact with them and getting to have them, be on the same playing field as you, but also just the craziest stuff they come up with and say and the weird connections they make. Highlight of my day, I actually finally started writing it down. So here's hoping I actually keep to that trend, because it's tough to remember.
It is. They are it's a funny age, and it's a fun age. And they can actually articulate to you what it is that is bothering them, as opposed to just crying.
For better or worse.
I mean, that really helps. That makes it even more fun because they can talk. So anyway, but yes, thank you so much for all of your good advice, your thoughtfulness, and for sharing with us how you've been doing your job and how you all operate. And I just want to thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for your time.
You did a great job.